Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. I can't actually quite believe I'm doing this video right now because I'm making it for a very large number of you all, because we have got lots of new subscribers over the last week or two, and we've almost like quadrupled or more than that now, I think, how many we had. So hi to all our new subscribers and welcome. This video is mostly for you because this video is a Q&A video to answer all your questions. So I'm going to try and keep this as brief as possible. I've been having lots of questions in the comments, so I put up a post asking for you all to give me questions you'd like me to answer in a video, and I got a lot. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to answer all of them, but I am going to do another video all about me and Josh and how we met and everything, because that is a question that is cropping up a lot. So that will be another separate video, so I'm afraid if you are here to find that out, you won't in this video. Anyway, I've compiled a list of lots of your questions and I'm going to try and answer it in detail, but not too much detail, because we will be here for hours if I do. But yeah, thank you for all these questions anyway. I hope they all give you a bit more of an idea about us and our family, and yeah. So the first question I'm going to answer is, how did I end up in Uganda? How did this all begin? So I thought I'd give a little bit of background on that. So basically in 2014 I was 22 and I just finished university and I was eager to travel. And one stop on my travels was Uganda, where I was doing a bit of volunteering. And that was it really. I had lots of other places I planned to go afterwards, and yeah, never went there, because after going to Uganda and volunteering, I met a 5-day-old baby boy who I fell in love with, and that 5-day-old boy is Adam. So I never actually set out to adopt. I've always been interested in adoption and fostering and things, but I was 22. I really did not plan to. But yeah, I ended up looking after him for the first 7 months of his life before returning to the UK, and at that point we both bonded with each other and I just could not bear the idea of life without him. So so I met him in September 2014, and then I was going back on frequent visits. I was paying for him to go to a nursery school and paying for him to have milk formula and things. And then in December 2015, I decided that I wanted to pursue adoption, and we started the process to start fostering and things. Fostering then went through in, I think, May 2016, and I moved there permanently in August 2016 to start our Ugandan adoption journey, which took an awful lot longer than it was supposed to, and I ended up being in Uganda for 4.5 years. So during my time there, I got a boyfriend, Josh, and 3 other children. George, Tallie and James joined our family. Okay, next question is, how old are all the children? So Adam and George are 6, Tallie is 4 and James is 2. And then, are we planning to adopt George, Tallie and James? Yes, is the answer to that. So George, Tallie and James are members of Josh's family. So Josh is going to pursue adoption of them. Josh has not adopted Adam. I adopted Adam by myself. And so he is legally my son. And Josh is pursuing adoption of those 3. I will not sign on those papers, and Josh did not sign on Adam's papers, because it makes more sense for us to do it independently. And then if we were to get married, which we plan to, which was another question on here somewhere, then they will then become both of ours. So yes, the plan is to adopt them, but to begin with they'll be just Josh's until we get married. Another question. Okay, all about sort of biological families. Where is the biological mother of Adam? What about the biological parents of the others? And if you'd watched my other videos, you'll see I have mentioned before they were not who we thought they were. So I'll explain all that a bit better. So Adam's biological mum passed away during childbirth. I have to be very careful what information I share about their biological families, because I don't want to overshare, but there are certain facts I feel comfortable with telling you all. So yes, Adam's biological mother is no longer with us. He does have a biological father that is living, but for various reasons he's never taken care of Adam. So then the biological parents of the others and why they are not who we thought they were. So George and Tallie came to stay with us in September 2018. They were living with Josh's mum, and she was really struggling, and yeah, so they came to stay with us. We hadn't planned for it to be permanent at that point, and she told us they were the children of Josh's brother. Josh hasn't seen this brother in question in about 10 years, so he just listened to what his mum said. Bearing in mind, Josh comes from a family in the village who, I don't know how to explain, but they live in a very village way. So his sister has 11 kids. His family, they've all got a lot of children. He doesn't know all his nieces and nephews. So where some people might ask, how does Josh not know if they were his nieces and nephews or not? I mean, every time we go to his mum's place, there's more kids there. So it is really hard to keep track. But basically that's what we were told. And then James, their little brother, came along beginning of last year, 2020, came to stay with us as well. And we weren't aware at that point that he was their biological brother. Anyway, it turns out they're not Josh's niece and nephew, they are his cousins. So really it makes not a lot of difference, there's a slightly different family member to what we thought. So they are his uncle and aunt's children. Now, lots of questions about them. Why are they not bringing up their own children? Really hard to not overshare and still give an idea. But basically, it's not a financial reason why they are not looking after their own children. They were with Josh's mum, and even if we instead wanted to support them financially, they still would not be able to look after their own children. So living with their biological parents is not an option. So they were either going to be with Josh's elderly mum who was struggling, or they're with us. And because they've been with us for several years now, we've all bonded, we're a family. I think it would actually be detrimental to them for them to no longer be with us. They see me as their mum, they see Josh as their dad. Okay, another question to do with biological family is, are Adam's biological family aware of his adoption? Yes, they are. This was not done through an agency and things. This was done, you know, I knew the child I wanted to adopt, I knew his family before I pursued adoption. So they've all signed consent, etc, etc. This is, I can assure you, not one of those cases that you do sadly hear of biological family being tricked and their children being taken away from them. That is not the case. What is the adoption process in Uganda and how long does it take? I mean, it's supposed to be you foster a child for 1 year and then you can adopt them. That is what the process is supposed to be. For some people that goes smoothly. For me, it did not. We just had problems almost every step of the way and delays every step of the way. So I ended up in Uganda. Well, if you want to go to the beginning of fostering, that started December 2015 and we just got home now, January 2021. So it was a long journey for us, but it's not always like that. I need to really reiterate that. Some people have much more smoother processes. So I don't want to put anyone off adopting in Uganda. We're doing it again, we're starting the process again. But yeah, it can be difficult and there can be challenges anyway. Okay, why did Josh and the kids not come with me to the UK? So they couldn't. I have to get Josh on a partner visa, therefore I need to be living here and working and earning enough money for him to be eligible to come, which I wasn't, obviously being in Uganda. So I've had to come here, I've got to find a job and I've got to earn enough, which is really important. And on top of that, Josh needs to complete the adoption that side in Uganda. One of the main things that is prohibiting that is money at the moment. So the visa application process and all that is going to be very expensive. And that brings me to another question lots of you are asking me, which is, do you have a GoFundMe? And yes, we do. We have one. It'll be linked down in the comment box below. If you're able to donate and you would like to, I'd be so grateful. But if not, if you could just share it around, perhaps people in your circle would be interested, and it would you know, massively help us get our family back together sooner rather than later. Okay, how do I feel being away from Josh and the other kids? Horrible. I've been really missing them today as well. I've been looking at pictures of them. It's not great, but I just tell myself this is what we have to do in order to be back together permanently in the future. So it's not great. I think, yeah, I'm missing them a lot, and the pets as well, really. But we just don't have a lot of choice really right now. How have Tallie, George and James adjusted to us being away? So this question I'm going to let Josh and the kids answer it.
A lot of people are asking us and asking Emily how are the kids and how we cope without Emily. Yeah, the kids are here. We are trying to figure out life and to make sure we get the paperwork so that we can join our family in the UK. I know it's hard and it's a long journey, but we know we will overcome, and we are trying very hard. Amy is trying in the UK and I'm trying here in Uganda, so that we can all be together one day. As you know, the kids still miss their mom. They miss Adam. They have been used to him and they are used to their mom. And now when they are not around, yeah, but we are trying, and I'm trying hard to show them love and care and talk. They talk to their mom every day, so I make sure they talk to their mom most of the time, and they talk to Adam. So yeah, that's how we are trying. Thank you for watching our videos, and we welcome all the new subscribers. Thank you for following our journey. We really appreciate, and thank you for the love you show us and the love you show our family. Bye. All of you say bye.
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 We love you.
We love you.
Love you. We love you, Mommy and Adam.
We love you, Mom and Adam.
Okay, next question. I hope I'm answering these well enough. So how old are me and Josh? I'm 29. We think Josh is 33. Does Josh have any biological children of his own? No, he does not. Although lots of you have suggested that these kids are his, I can assure you they are not. What does Josh do for a living? Nothing at the moment, because I mean, he wishes he did. He wants to be the one earning an income, but we run the charity, you know, he's now looking after the kids by himself and everything. It's just impossible. So for now, I'm sending money out to Josh for them to live. He's running the charity, he's homeschooling the children, all this really. So it doesn't really make sense for him to be gone all day every day for a very small amount of money that he'd be able to earn. Yeah, and we work really hard together with the charity, so, and we don't get paid for that, and we do it entirely for free. What will Josh do for work in the UK? Not entirely sure. Josh loves the gym and really wants to look into personal training and things, but that might have to be a bit of a side hustle, and he might have to get just a very basic job here in the meantime. But I guess we'll see. Josh is one of those people that's quite good at lots of things, so we'll see. But I definitely know that his ideal job would be to do some sort of personal training. And do I want biological kids with Josh? So I'll be honest, I feel like I'm at that age where my body is like craving being pregnant. And I would quite like to experience having a biological child. If that isn't an option, it's not an option. I love the kids we have so much, and I don't think I would feel any differently about biological children. I just quite like to experience it and experience growing life and being pregnant. But we will not be doing that anytime soon because we have a lot else on. I want to get Josh and the kids over here. We want to be settled, have our own place and all these sorts of things. So hopefully one day, but I guess we'll just take it as it comes and we'll have to see. Okay, do I plan to go back to Uganda anytime soon? Not to live, no, but I would really like to go and visit sort of like April time, depending on, number one, if I have the money to, and number two, depends what is going on with this whole COVID thing, because obviously if I have a job, even if I get time off work, if then I, you know, have to isolate and things, it's just, I really just don't know. Again, we're just having to see how things go at the moment. Obviously, worldwide pandemic does make things a little bit more difficult, but I'm hoping to be going out every couple of months to see them, at least until we're able to get them over. If I were to find a permanent job in Uganda, would I move back there? Not at this point in time, no. I'm not saying no, never, but I don't want to keep moving Adam around a lot, number one, but also when we get Josh and the kids here, it's then quite a process before they can get things like British citizenship, and we have to be here, I think, for 6 years. If we get that, then we are so much more free. We can go back and forth and everything, but if they do get here and they don't spend enough time here, they won't be eligible for that. So what we want to do is get them here, be here for, you know, quite a few years, just as I've been in Uganda really, so we'll do a long stretch here too, and then we've experienced having, you know, 5+ years or whatever in both countries, so we'll be able to decide, I think, a bit better what we want to do moving forward. But no, if I got one right now, no, I'm not looking to move back right now. At the moment, we're looking for them to come here. What does Josh think about leaving Uganda? This is the thing, is he has never left Uganda before, so he may come here and hate it. I don't think he will. I know him quite well. I think he will enjoy it. Obviously there will be things he misses, but I guess you make these sort of sacrifices. Sorry, I've just lost my flow with this because some neighbours rang around on the door downstairs, and they brought round Adam like a welcome to England little painting card thing, which was really, really sweet, and a couple of the kids are actually going to be going to school with Adam, which is a question I have coming up in a bit. So let's get back to this. Okay, will Josh come and visit his in-laws? I mean, technically they're not in-laws yet, we're not married yet. Unsure at this point in time. Obviously we don't know who would really look after the kids in Uganda, if it would just be very, very expensive when we're trying to save all our money to get them over here permanently. So at this point in time it's not really a plan, but I guess we'll have to see. We'll have to see how things go. Obviously if it starts taking too long to get them over here, it might be quite nice for Josh to come for a visit, but I don't think a tourist visa is any easier to obtain than it is to get him over here on a spouse visa. Do me and Adam plan to stay with my parents long term, or do I plan to get a place? So we will definitely be with my parents for a while. They've moved to this house which has 2 extra bedrooms, so we can stay here, and it just doesn't make sense when we're desperately trying to save money to go and rent our own place and break even every month. The idea really would be that we stay here until we get Josh and the others over. We all stay here for a couple of months after that, but not very long because it will be a very full house. But until we're on our feet, me and Josh both have a job, then we'll look at moving out. That hopefully will be what happens, but again, I just don't want to say something set in stone. There's a plan that we have, but who knows what's going to crop up, who knows what's going to happen, but that's the plan anyway. Will I look for teaching jobs now I'm back in the UK? How has like the job search gone? At the moment obviously schools are actually closed, so there's not really any teaching jobs, but I've managed to get a part-time online tutoring job which I haven't started yet, but I even have training for it tonight. So that will provide some income. It's not enough to meet the minimum that I need to be earning to get Josh and the kids here. Neither would a teaching job probably in this area. If I lived in London or something, fine, I would definitely earn enough as a teacher, but around here I'd have to do something else on top of it. So that is something to consider. I also am just so reluctant. I love teaching, I really, really do, but it does take over your life and I don't want to be away from Adam all the time. So I guess I'm just trying to see. So definitely doing some online teaching, probably try and get some other little jobs here and there. Thanks to all you guys, I've earned quite a lot on YouTube this past month, which is so amazing. But I don't know. I need to be earning around about a minimum of about £30,000 a year in order to be able to get Josh and the kids here. Teaching, I think I would be on around 27 or 28, so it doesn't quite meet the minimum. How is Adam settling in? Will I homeschool him or will he join a local school? Adam has settled in so well. He has, you know, embraced everything really, but I do think he is starting to get a little bit fed up of, I don't know, being stuck inside, doing nothing new, not having children to play with, which is great that we have now got him a school place. So he's going for a taster day tomorrow at a new school. And I think the school sounds perfect for him. He'll be going into year 1, but it's mixed with reception. So I'll have to let you know how that goes after the taster day tomorrow, but I think it'll massively help him with settling in. Obviously it'll be a huge transition again to start a British school, but he'll be able to finally play with children his own age every day. So I do think he's going to love it. How will I ensure that Adam keeps his roots and culture, like his language and everything? Do I plan to raise him multilingual? Yes, I do plan to. Obviously now that I'm with Josh, that'll be very easy to do because he will speak to them in Lusoga. But before I was with Josh, I still always planned on him being multilingual. If anything should happen and Josh should not be coming here, which hopefully he will be, I will be looking for, you know, someone from that part of Uganda in this country to either tutor him or to just hang out with him to make sure he keeps his language. And in terms of other things, I found a website that delivers Ugandan foods. I probably will do a terrible job of cooking them, but we can order some of the snacks and things as well, so that you can be, obviously it's quite expensive, so it's more of a treat, but we'll make sure we are doing things like that, listening to Ugandan music, and yeah. So, and also very importantly, we plan to be still spending a lot of time in Uganda. Obviously not so easy, as I said, at the moment with COVID, but hopefully we will be spending school holidays in Uganda every year. How have I found the British side of the adoption process for Adam? He's not adopted here yet at this point. His adoption is not recognised here legally, and it is driving me insane trying to find out how to do that. I am going around in circles. I just keep getting referred to someone else. I've just got an email now I need to reply to again. It's just the issue being that every local authority deals with it differently, and so I'm sorry, my camera battery just died and I keep losing what I'm doing and what I'm saying, and where I am in this list of questions. Okay, how long do I think it will take for the others to move to the UK? I wish I had an answer to this. I mean, in an ideal world, it would be like the end of the year. Potentially could be possible if I got a job for 6 months that was earning over the minimum amount that I need to be getting, and if the adoption goes through in Uganda, which is, as I'm sure you can all imagine, dependent on if we have the money to pay good lawyers and things like this. Yeah, so I have to be working for a minimum of 6 months in like a job with a salary, with a contract proving that I'm going to be earning over the minimum amount, or I have to be working for a year. I guess I'm not very good at all this. I have a lawyer that I've spoken. I swear this is not going well at all. My memory card just ran out of space. So it's 3 interruptions so far. What was I saying? I think it'd have to be a year, either, you know, sort of like self-employed, where you don't know exactly what money's coming in, and then that has to total the minimum amount, or 6 months where I can prove that I will be earning the minimum amount. I'm probably being really ambitious, but I really hope maybe by the end of the year, I'm sure it'll be a lot more than that. And that is very dependent as well on if we raise any money towards it, because if I am going to work and earn all the money it costs for the visas and all this while sending money out to Josh whilst also living here, it's going to take years, which I'm very prepared to do. I just wish it was easier. I wish it wasn't so hard. I wish it wasn't so expensive. It's thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds to adopt these kids and bring them here with Josh. As I mentioned before, if you do feel like you'd like to contribute to get our family back together sooner, we do have a GoFundMe page. Okay, so then these questions are a little bit different. What Ugandan food did I enjoy eating the most? I'll be honest, I didn't eat a lot of local food in the end, but I really enjoyed the way Josh cooked Irish, which is some sort of potatoes and like tomatoes and stuff, with avocado. Flipping love avocado, which isn't obviously just Ugandan, but lovely huge fresh avocados. But I love matoke, which is banana plantain in a peanut sauce. Yeah, so those are probably my favourites. Oh, I also like chikmando, which is chapati with beans. And what does Adam think of British food? So I'm actually going to be doing a video showing him reacting to lots of British foods in a couple of weeks' time. But I mean, a lot of them he's sort of eaten anyway, things like eggs and stuff, you know, it's eaten everywhere. But he's going to be trying some typically British foods, and we'll see if he likes those or not, and I'll be sharing that with you anyway. Okay, what is CEDA and what is Whisper? So Whisper is the charity that I initially went out to Uganda to volunteer for. It is run by an old friend called Veronica. It obviously used to have the children's home and things where I met Adam, but that's since closed down. And now the biggest thing it does is it runs a children's hospital. Yeah, but you should check them out. They do a lot of good work in Uganda. But as my passion was more education, I ended up sort of leaving helping out with them, and I started my own charity with a couple of friends of mine that me and Josh now run, called CEDA, and we provide education for children in Uganda, and we are at the very early stages of hopefully building our very own school. So that is exciting, but it's quite a long way off. I'm definitely finding it a little hard at the moment to juggle everything that needs doing. So if there's anyone on here that wants to help out with charity work or fundraising and things, that would be incredible. We desperately need more funds and a lot of money in order to build a wonderful school in Uganda. And I've got a link down below in my description box to our charity website as well if you want to check out all the things we do. You could also follow us on Facebook and Instagram, which I'd be so grateful for. Even just a follow and liking and sharing things every so often, it really helps. Somebody asked, what gives me courage to do everything I do, such as the adoption and charity, etc. I don't think I do have courage. I don't know. It's just something that I feel led to do, my heart wants to do. I feel like it all comes from a place of love. It wasn't like the adoptions weren't planned, but I fell in love with Adam, the kids came to stay, we fell in love with them. Most of the kids we support with the charity used to be at the children's home with Adam too. I've got strong bonds with all of them. I've known them all for over 6 years. I don't think it's courage. I mean, sometimes it is hard, I'll be honest. But I don't know. I just feel like I couldn't not do these things, if that makes sense. And the final question, which so many of you have been asking, is Big Adam, my brother, Uncle Adam, single? We've had so many comments about him, and the answer is yes, he is. He is not very keen on me setting him up, but, and he's going to hate me for this, this is his Instagram handle, so feel free to go and add him yourself and try, ladies. He is single. He is definitely not going to let me work as matchmaker, unfortunately, but yeah, you can go and add him and show him some love, I guess. Anyway, those are all the questions that I'm going to answer in this video. I hope I've not talked too fast. Sometimes I can't help myself. Anyway, if you have any other questions that I have not answered, comment them down below on this video and I will do my best to answer all your questions that are commented on this video. It's really hard when people are asking questions on lots of videos, even old ones from a couple of years ago, but I will make an extra effort to try and answer them if they are all in one place. Anyway, I'm going to go now. I've talked enough, but thank you for watching. I think I've said that lots now. If you haven't already subscribed, please do. We'd really appreciate it. My aim is to upload at least 2 videos a week from this point forward. Yeah, so I will see you again in the next video. Bye! So